Blitz.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for the Blitz.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Captain Cool and the Bandi Man.
Welcome in, everybody. Here on a... What is Jeez, here we go again. I'm trying to figure out a good Wednesday, something I can work off of that's in the Christmas spirit. I don't know exactly. I'll think of it throughout this opening, but welcome to a beautiful Wednesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool.
Oh my goodness, it's Captain Cool!
Someone lose a grenade. Oh yeah! Make sure you guys find us online at theblitzsportsradio.com, on Facebook at The Blitz Sports Radio, and on Twitter at @TheBlitz_Sports. And while you're at it, go and follow us on Twitch and YouTube at WZZN TV for more than just sports talk. I got a brand new jersey today. It is an Arizona Coyotes, whatever, type of uniform. But hey, you know what? It looks really cool. I might not be the biggest fan of the Coyotes, but this is one of my favorite designs, and I will be rocking it today for you guys, because you got to bring a little bit of sports on your outfits, every once in a while. So yeah, that's why you got to be on our stream at WZZN TV. You can also find that stream on Facebook and on our Twitter. If you guys want to join in on any of the conversations today, call us at 256-576-4977. And this first hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you got any roofing problems, look them up online and fill out your free quote today. Remember, Fleming always shows up. You're live hanging with the chillest crew of two in sports radio in the booth, spinning the tracks, keeping us on the airways, doing a very, very good job of that. One Mr. Bailey, Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
What's going on, Captain Cool? Where are we going in today? What are we calling Wednesday?
I don't really know. What is a word that is in correlation to Christmas that starts with a W? It could just be like right on my... It could be something very simple that we're just not thinking of right now. Let me just look up Christmas words that start with a W. Christmas words that start with a W. Okay, here we go. It is a
Winter Wednesday.
A Walnuts Wednesday.
Walnut Wednesday?
Walnut Wednesday, everybody. No, okay, there's also warm. There's also warmth. There's also welcome. There's a welcoming Wednesday we could do. A white Wednesday. I think that'll probably get us canceled. A wholehearted Wednesday. A wholesome. Okay, see, that's whenever it gets to the part where you can't use them. Because those whole words, they don't go with Wednes or W.
Yeah.
They don't go with that. A wine Wednesday. A winter Wednesday. Isn't it? It's the first day of winter. It's a winter Wednesday, guys. That's what we're going with. We're not going with walnut. We're not going with wholesome. It's a winter Wednesday here in No Man's Land. And Bandi, we had a nice little dinner last night, I will say, with the rest of the WZZN crew. And I'll tell you this much. On my ride home, it felt like I gained probably 5 pounds, and I was carrying a child inside of me because my stomach protruded so much. And that's something I haven't had to feel in a while. I mean, what did we have at the beginning? We started with a little bit of entree, a little bit of something we could, dabble into. Kind of like some chips, some dip, some other things that I didn't really understand. There was something with tomatoes on it. What was that thing called?
What was that, bruschetta?
Bruschetta. I think, what was it? Bruschetta. Something like that.
Bruschetta?
Okay. And then...
Oh,
bruschetta.
Okay, see, now you're just confusing me.
We're in America, so this is bruschetta. We're going to go with that. And then... After that, okay, I could go with the time.
I'm Irish. I got an excuse.
Afterwards, what did we have after that? It was a salad.
We did have a salad.
The salad was busted.
I will say, going back to the entrees, first time I've ever had cauliflower dip.
Really?
And it was incredibly. It was incredibly good.
Which one was that?
It was the one that kind of looked like queso.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that was really good.
Which initially, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was just like a queso dip, but
with like a little bit of crispy on it too.
Yeah, but it was cauliflower dip. Wow. And it was incredibly good.
Tasted really nice. I didn't get any of the chips right off the bat. That's one thing I kind of missed out on because I was bringing you back from getting your ID, so you could later go on to get some drinks, which we definitely drank a little bit. I had like 2 beers. I didn't do anything crazy. All right. You know, this is America. I only had 2 Bud Lights, and I was feeling good. I don't drink much, so I was feeling pretty good. Bandy, what did you get? I know Chad got some fruity drink that everybody was kind of, busting his balls about, but, he didn't care.
It looked good, though.
It did look good. I would have drank it.
What was it, like champagne, like strawberry?
It was a strawberry lemonade sparkler.
It was a sparkler.
Tito's vodka, champagne, strawberries, and cognac.
Yeah, that sounds good,
The
actually.
Tito's. That alone is like, okay, that's a women's drink. But hey,
Yeah, I just got me a glass of Pinot Grigio.
okay.
Which
hey.
I was glad to see. I was validated. I was glad to see we have another wine guy in the office.
Okay, good. I mean, hey, my mom also picked up some wine. She was chilling on that, and it was good to see. We're all having a great time. We all had a lot of good food. The salad was amazing. I know, Bandy, you're not a salad guy, but I've
Not too much.
recently started getting into more salads. Usually a Caesar salad. This one a little bit different, obviously. And then after that, I believe that's when we got the chicken and the steaks and stuff like that. I had chicken myself. I thought it was amazing. It had nice little stuff on top of it. I didn't have any of the steak. It looked really good. I just didn't get any of that stuff because, that's not what I ordered. And then after that, we were already all full. Okay. Oh, and also I had 3 rolls that were just amazing. They were like the Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah, the Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah.
You can't put those in front of me. I will devour a whole basket.
Yeah, hey,
but I didn't get a chance to because you ate them all before me.
Yeah.
You didn't
What?
get
I
any?
didn't get any of them. What? That was not my fault. There were a lot of them there, okay? Chad didn't get any rolls. I had 3.5, okay? Because Summer also gave me one of them. But, yeah, I was definitely sneaking a few. I knew Bailey wanted some, but I was going back for, every once in a while. And then I was like, okay, maybe that was a mistake right there. Got my chicken, ate the chicken. And then after that, we had we had a chocolate little pie thingy. That was amazing. It didn't look like it was going to be good. I'll say that.
It was very good. My goodness. Yeah. It was way too rich for me, though.
Very rich. Whenever you see it, it looks like something you can get at Walmart, and then you open it up, and then it had a lot of good little, it had amazing stuff in it. And then after that, we ended up having, there was also this blueberry cake that I didn't end up eating. I'm not a big fan of blueberry, but what I did have from it, because they had a nice little cream on the bottom and all that stuff, and I was taking off a few pieces without blueberries, it tasted amazing.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was thinking, yeah, maybe my night is coming to an end. I got home around 9:30. Passed out, woke up at 10:30, and I was like, what the heck time is it? I am so confused. And then I continued to stay awake until around 12, and then I hit the sheets. And it was a great night overall. I had a few questions I wanted to ask you for the season, but I might save them for the cool segment or maybe tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a very Christmassy episode, even more than the ones we've had already, and it's going to be very exciting. But on the lines today, whenever he comes on around 3, it is going to be one Mr. RJ White from sportsline.com, talking all the lines in football going into week 16, kind of previewing the previous week, or going over the previous week in week 14 and 15, and just kind of going over all of what's going down with that. So RJ White will be on at 3 o'clock with us today, and it is also December 21st, the first day of winter, which I feel like it shouldn't. It's been getting colder and colder recently, out of kind of nowhere.
I mean, has it? Because it's kind of like we'll go like a 2 or 3 day stretch of it being 40 to 50 degrees, and it's like, boom, 70.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had the 70 in like a week or two, okay?
Boom, 60.
Yeah, there you go.
65.
It's probably like 50-something out right now. That's what it feels like at least. But I know that in the next week, or this Friday, actually, it's going to get down to like 3 degrees. And I'm like, whoa. And if I was sipping on that coffee, I would spit it out, because 3 degrees, guys?
Get it all over the monitor? Are you crazy?
Yeah, all over the equipment right over there. But it was 70 degrees like 2 weeks ago. I don't know what the heck's going on with weather. Maybe I should start believing in the climate control and all that stuff. I have no idea. I'm gonna be unique and not do that. But today is December 21st, and here's what you need to know in the Blitz today. Hall of Fame Steelers running back Franco Harris, who coined the legendary Immaculate Reception, passed away at the age of 72 overnight. That same 1972 year, Harris went on to win the Rookie of the Year and rushed for 12,000 yards in his 13 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks. Rest in peace to another great one. We'll be going over a little bit more of his legacy during the cool segment of the show. And then former Twin Carlos Correa has agreed on a monstrous contract with the Mets, worth $315 million for 12 years. Wow. he's going to be in New York for a while. He's going to kind of learn that, hey, maybe these long contracts. This is what I'm going to come to the conclusion on. I think a lot of these monstrosities of contracts are going to make players learn, maybe I want to change in scenery, and then when they try to get out of their contract, they might not be able to find the correct team that wants them, and they might be stuck in kind of free agent purgatory and kind of wasting away their career unless some other team's like, this is the guy we wanted, we can spend this amount of money that is left on his contract, let's bring him in for 6 years, and then possibly, get a World Series with him. But, I mean, this is a 12-year contract, and I mean it's around where Aaron Judge's was. I think his was a 9-year contract, but I mean this will be completely void the previous agreement that he was going to have with the Giants, which was a 13-year contract, and that was going on earlier this week. So he's already flipped script, kind of like a lot of these signees in the college world, and I mean now he's going to be a New York Met. And I feel like this has something to do with, the Yankees doing what they're doing with Aaron Judge and all the other teams that are throwing out these giant contracts. I think it's going to come back and bite a lot of these teams in the butt because these are insane.
Well, you turn around and turn that into a giant contract with the Mets. So,
yeah.
You just hear all these just astronomical price tags and salaries these baseball players are getting. I'm just thinking, is there a point to this? Like you're really going to be going all in. Just take a step back. You're going to be going all in on a single player for 13 years.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And you're going to spend this much money. Okay.
I don't think one player is going to win the World Series for you. That's the thing. I'd rather get.
I just don't see the point, in any sport.
Yeah.
Just going this all in on a single player for this long of a frame.
Yeah.
For over a decade, I don't see the point.
I mean, you could see the monstrous contracts that are in the NFL for quarterbacks and stuff like that. I mean, a good quarterback is a dime a dozen, okay? A good baseball player, though, there are a lot of them, but you need a consistent roster to win World Series. You don't need one star player to bring it all home. I mean, if you even had a pitcher that you paid this much, he's not going to be in every single game, so it's like, why would you do that, And I mean, I would rather have several guys on a $25 million contract than have one dude on a $315 million contract. Because then you at least know that you have some solid players, they all work well together, and you're not, paying out the butt for these guys to be on your team and bring you to that World Series. I mean, obviously, it's all going to add up the more guys you bring in, but still, having to just go and throw all of your money pretty much at one player. And I know that's not all of their money. MLB has a lot of money coming in, going out, and stuff like that. But still, I don't know if this is the way to go, especially for a very lengthy contract like this one. And I mean, Carlos Correa, he's a really good player, but at the same time,
13 years?
12 years.
Oh,
the 13-year contract was what the Giants wanted. Which they've been really trying to get some players on their team, like Aaron Judge earlier in the offseason. They were not able to get that one either. So the Giants are kind of just losing in all fronts. But at the same time, they have a solid squad that is not, worth $1 trillion for each player. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Giants are winning and all these other teams are losing. Either way, the Yankees got Aaron Judge, and they're going to be fine either way. Either way it happens, okay? And then all the crazy news that is coming out of the transfers, we finally found out the fourth possible school for JT Daniels, and he's going to be playing for. Is it a big time SEC school? I mean, he went from USC, he went to West Virginia. I mean, he's going all around the college world, okay? It's not a big time SEC school. It's not even an ACC school.
Did he pick a Power 5 school? The answer may surprise you.
Well, he could have just returned to a past program. I mean, there's also that as a possibility. But no, he's going to Rice. He's going to Rice. What the hell is going on in Rice? I mean, why would you need to go to Rice? I don't know. I mean, for his final season in college football, possibly. I mean, Rice, really? Like, that's going to be the school that pushes you to the end? I would have went to Rice, first or second, maybe,
How messed up are your credits at this point?
I don't know. They're all jangled, They're all over the place.
I guarantee you, there's no way. There can't be some classes that go from USC to Rice.
I mean, there's got to be a few people that are like, hey, they're not doing as well. They end up, going to a school like Rice or Marshall and stuff like that. And I mean, I get that, you want a different, eyeball of the college world, but going to Rice, I mean, that's not going to help you too much. I mean, you're going to see easier schools if you're playing with this team, which is fine, but how are the draft prospects going to look at you, JT Daniels, you did a funny job, you moved all over the place every single season. You couldn't just sit down in one place, I mean, probably be what I would do with my ADHD I got, but either way, I mean, come on, Rice, out of all your options, go to Oregon or something. I don't know. Find something.
Be behind Bo Nix.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, they got a lot of other guys coming into the fray as well over in Oregon, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that later. But, I mean, we'll have all the news on who's signing with whom on today's edition of National Signing Day. Signing Day started early with Texas, Oregon, Florida, and Minnesota already bringing the heat, but find out who's landing where later in the show during the cool segment of the show. And then the Argentina World Cup champions celebration had to be cut short due to the sheer amount of fans in attendance. Guys, you don't get it. These guys are crazy. These guys are actually die-hard fans. They will die for this team, okay? Because whenever I saw the picture and the video of all of these guys crammed into the city, just cheering on their guys and Messi, everybody like that. Messi can't even get to his own house. Okay, you showed me that video before. Yeah. I was like, what the heck? I was like, this is crazy.
It's to the point. I mean, there's videos out there of them chanting in the streets for Messi's grandmother. I mean, which is fantastic because I can't imagine how that feels as her, just everyone chanting her name.
That is hilarious. Messi's grandma. I mean, if you can't get the real thing, you get the person who, helped create the man himself, and that is Messi's grandma. But I mean, if you've seen some of these videos, they're having to spray water into the crowd, kind of like what they do in Riot Control, except for they're trying to help the fans not die in the crowd because, I mean, these guys are crammed in.
Yeah, they are packed.
It is crammed in like army soldiers inside the casing whenever you get that for Christmas back when you were like 3 or 4, Well, I mean, maybe not 3 or 4. You might eat all the pieces, but still. They were having to spray water on these fans so they didn't die of either asphyxiation or dehydration or, heat. Just the heat. It would have killed them too. Because this stuff, it happens a lot more in soccer. I mean, these people are real diehard fans. You see in the games wherever the crowds are too packed that some people actually die from just getting, suffocated by the other crowd members. And you're thinking, if I saw that Messi was going to have his little parade with Argentina and all that stuff, the team and all that, I see the news. I'm just looking at the screen. I'm like, maybe I won't go and see that because there's just so many people, but I don't think any of these Argentinian fans care about that. I think
they've been waiting on this forever.
I know. They just go out. They're just like, I don't care if I might die or get stomped on by a whole horde of other fans, like-minded fans. I'm going either way because I'm going to have a slim chance in seeing Messi. And you know what? That's probably not going to even happen. Because you have a mile-long wait time until you can finally get to where the parade actually is. And you're not going to be really seeing any of it. But that's, hey, let the Argentinians do what they want to do. Because, hey, celebrate all you want. When you win the World Cup, that's something different, okay? I know I'm not a big fan of soccer, but I know most of the world is. So you guys enjoy your win. Just please be safe out there. Hey, we're online radio. So there might be a few Argentinians listening in on this. And if you guys are, let us know if I'm saying Argentinian right. Because are you guys Argentinians? Are you Argentinians? Or are you just from Argentina? Look, I don't know exactly how that works. Either way. And then Gonzaga continues their home dominance in men's college basketball by holding off Montana for their 72nd consecutive home win, tying UNLV for the 9th longest in NCAA history. Drew I guess it's Timmy, did most of the heavy lifting as he scored a season-high 32 points, along with 11 rebounds in the 85-75 win Tuesday night. Now, looking at this, 72, yet again, a number to pop up.
72.
This is like the number of the day because we look back at Franco Harris. Okay, he died, he passed away at the age of 72. He also started his NFL career in 72. And, I mean, that's 3 times now we've had to say it. And there's even more to get into later on in the show because it just gets wilder. It gets wilder. So you guys stick around for all of that stuff. And then the Bandi Man will be bringing you guys all the gaming news. And what are you going to be talking about, Bandi Man?
Okay, so I love me some Rainbow Six Siege.
Of course.
The fan base and the community have been hit with a little bit of a hacker problem recently,
Hackers.
but not in a bad way.
Oh.
It's not like people are going in and aimbotting, seeing through walls, all that. It's a different kind of hacker.
Hacking, sacking?
And that during the match, hackers have been posting pictures of chickens in the middle of players' screens so they can't see.
That's a funny one, but it also could, affect somebody's gameplay. I would see that, but it's a funny one at least.
Risk of Rain is going to be returning with a remake coming to PC and Nintendo Switch. And I actually talked about this is one of my lists like weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah.
But when I counted down what I think was the top 10 best Call of Duty campaigns.
Oh, okay.
IGN just put out their list today of the same thing.
Oh, are we going to do that today?
We're going to do a valid check or not on this list today.
Okay.
Whether or not it's valid.
Okay. Hey, we don't have a Friday show, so we can and it's also a Christmas week, so we can do whatever we want here, so we can throw out some stuff. And Bandi, I will be throwing out some questions throughout this entire show about Christmas related things. And the first one I'm going to ask you before we hop into break is which of your coworkers is most likely to be an elf in disguise?
You.
Me?
No hesitation.
I was thinking Steve.
Steve?
Scuba Steve.
Steve?
I feel like you would.
No.
Yeah. I'm going to say Steve, you say me. Either way, we're going to drink some tea. During this break, and no, it's not going to be Aaron Rodgers tea. We don't do that here on the Afternoon Blitz, guys.
I'm just saying, I've never seen you and the elf on the shelf that we have in the same room together.
Do we have? We should get an elf in the shelf in the studio.
How do you know we don't have one?
I just haven't found it yet.
Exactly.
But you know what you guys will be finding when we come back from break is the cool segment here on the Afternoon Blitz. Don't go anywhere because we will be right back.
The Blitz has been called.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise in a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats. The Blitz has been called.
Finally, this is the Christmas we've been waiting for.
It's a holiday.
I got
Okay,
foes.
good. I'm glad you get the censored version. I can listen to that. Welcome back, everybody, to a Winter Wednesday. Yeah, I gotta remember that. It's a Winter Wednesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi man, Bailey Lowry.
Yes, sir.
And you can find us on Twitter at @theblitz_sports, and you can find us on Twitch and YouTube at WZZN TV. If you want to join in on any of the conversations, 256-576-4977 is the number to call, and Bandi will put you right in so you can conversate about whatever you want to talk about, whether it's making fun of the random jersey I got on today, all the sports that you guys want to talk about. And this hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. The winter is here officially today, and the weather is very cold, so make sure that roof is on top of you and it is secure by talking with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. You can get your free quote today online, so go look them up. Remember, Fleming always shows up. And before we get into the cool segment of the show, Bandi, question number 2 for you. Have you ever re-gifted a present?
Re-gifted a present?
Yeah.
I have.
You have? I need to know what it was.
It was. I got it because I originally got it for a Dirty Santa gift.
Okay.
But I never ended up getting used.
All right.
So I re-gifted it, and it's going to be... It's a lotion bottle of Santa, literally, that you just press on the top of his head.
Okay. Where does the lotion come out of?
The top of his head. Out
of his hat or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
It's a cool little side piece.
Is this a recent thing? Is this like this year?
It was I think like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay,
like 2 years ago maybe.
So I have a story that I never re-gifted. Okay, I've never done that yet.
You never re-gifted?
I've never re-gifted, but my brother, on the other hand, has, because he's just public enemy number 1 right here. Okay, so we were in a huge Funko Pop, time, and me and my buddy Macho. Okay, Macho ends up getting him a Jet Funko Pop from Cowboy Bebop. Okay. He gets it. I have a video of all of it. He opens it up, and I'm like, whoa, I'm acting surprised and stuff like that. Fast forward to Christmas Day, he gets me a present. Tommy gets me a present. Yeah, I outed him yet again. He's public enemy number 1. Love him.
All right.
And I open up the present, and it's Jet. And I'm like, dude, did you actually got me one? And he was like, yeah. And then when I looked up into his room where he did put that Funko Pop, it was gone. So, yeah, Macho was devastated. But now that Funko Pop is worth like $50. So I win. You lose. Let's go. I told him it was an investment.
Who came out on top in the end?
Really, yeah. I think I did right there. And I still got to sell it. But I don't know if I want to sell it because that price might just keep going up, but it might go down. Who knows? That's just the way of the world, guys. The whole stonks and all that stuff. But we're going to be going into some of the recruiting stuff that's going down right now. Who's the winners? Who's the losers? Who's really just like succeeding and, getting all who they want. And also we're going to go over a little bit of Franco Harris's history in the NFL and on. Because, I mean, what a great player, what a great man. And, it stinks that this has to happen, but it is life. It's just a part of what happens. But, I mean, 72 years old, and he played in the NFL. He was amazing, multiple Super Bowl winner. We definitely have to just talk about his legacy, and we'll definitely be getting into that. So, that's what's coming up on the segment, What's Cool?
It's getting hot in here.
Hot in here? That's a spicy meatball.
So it's time to cool down with Captain Cool.
You know what cool is?
What?
You're looking at.
Dang straight. All right, in recent recruiting news, this one just came out actually a little bit ago. Alabama's adding 2 5-star teammates. And yes, these are the 2 5-star teammates we've been waiting to hear about, okay? These are the guys played on the exact same team. They were the ones that were going to be a deal package together. They had to go to the same school, wherever they went. And you know who grabbed them? Alabama, baby! Let's go. Play the fight song. I don't know if we can. There you go. Give me the claps at least. But Jarquavius Rousseau, the number 7 recruit in the ESPN 300, and teammate James Smith, a defensive lineman, who is number 11th in the ESPN 300 as well, have committed to Alabama. The Crimson Tide have 20 ESPN 300 recruits in this class. And on with that, I mean, there's obviously more. Obviously, the people who came out swinging, Alabama's got to be one of them. They started off strong right out of the gate, flipping 2 players to commit to the Crimson Tide in the form of number 3 QB in their respected class, Dante Moore, who previously signed with the Oregon Ducks, and offensive tackle Caden Proctor, who was slated to head to Iowa. But don't feel too bad for the Oregon Ducks, because they ended up flipping a top-ranked QB themselves with Austin Novosad, who previously committed to UCLA, as well as a 5-star safety, Peyton Bowen, who flipped from Notre Dame. Now, there's a lot of flipping going on. This is obviously going to happen. People say, hey, we're going to commit here. But then whenever signing day comes, they sign with a different school. That's going to be a lot of the trend that goes on. USC is in all smiles, even though they missed out on a hometown favorite in Mateo Ulagalele, who committed to Oregon. But that doesn't matter, because they landed the top quarterback in the country in Malachi Nelson out of California. But you know who else is doing some big stuff? Deion Sanders in Colorado. He's making moves himself by signing 2 4-stars in the form of wide receiver Adam Hopkins, who sits 13th in his position, and the 8th best running back in Dylan Edwards out of Kansas. And then to top it all off, the most anticipated QB in the class, Archie Manning Jr., signed with, you know who, the Texas Longhorns. And I'm going to be honest with you, this kid is going to make a big impact almost as soon as he steps on the field. We'll continue to bring you guys the updates. And let's see like the previous stuff that's going down, because I know that obviously Jarquavius Rousseau and James Smith were the most recent big names that really went out. But I mean, there's other teams that are doing insane stuff as well, like Miami. And I mean, right there, they got Damari Brown, who is a number 112 recruit in the ESPN top 300, and he signed with Miami to add a little bit of explosiveness to that backfield. And then Washington also flips a cornerback in the form of Caleb Presley. He was out of Seattle, and he flipped from Oregon to Washington, so it's not too big of a difference for him. He'll get same scenery, but he is the number 221st recruit in the ESPN 300. And then moving on, Texas A&M lands a 4-star wide receiver in Micah Tease, who is number 256 in the ESPN 300. I've got to stop saying the ESPN 300 thing. It's just continuously.
Yeah, it's just going and going and going. But
it's continuous.
I mean, Texas A&M, I don't think they could land anything close to a class they had the year prior. No. I mean, and going into it, and why would you even want to go there at this point?
I know.
I'm just trying to think of a reason. Why would you want to go to Texas A&M right now?
Well, I mean, there's some things that it's like, going off of that past season, there's a lot of things you don't like to see. They didn't do too well with the recruiting class that they had, but you'll still have the people who are Texas A&M fans or people who just think highly of the college itself outside of the sports aspect, and that's where they're going to be hopping in. And, I mean, one Mr. Micah Tease, he actually decommitted from Arkansas on December 19th, so he had a few things he was thinking, but now the Aggies have 8 of the ESPN 300 commits. So this is actually, I mean, they're still doing well. And I got to admit, I mean, good for them. I hope they could have a better season next year. But who knows, really? But then in the ESPN 300, the cornerback Kayan Lee, flipped his commit from Ohio State to Auburn on Wednesday. That is today. And Lee was number 184th in the recruiting overall. And he had other schools looking at him like Oregon, Notre Dame, and Georgia. And then, I mean, you just look through all the other schools. Auburn also has brought in some people in the form of Keldrick Falk from Florida State. And, I mean, they flipped him as well. And, I mean, they're just taking as many as they can. It's really about who can flip who at this point, okay? Really about that. Because, I mean, people are saying they want to go to one school. Like Oregon, a lot of people want to go to Oregon. Then they flip to a different school. But then there's a lot of people, you feel bad for Oregon because they lost out on this amazing player. But then you see 5-star safety Peyton Bowen going to Oregon and flipping his recruit from Notre Dame. And I mean, that's just like the amount of people who are flipping. Everybody's going to get a little bit. Obviously, the big schools are going to get the bigger players, the higher amount of number of these players. But I mean, you can't really feel bad for any of these guys. I mean, even Nebraska's reeling in a few of the top prospects in one Malachi Coleman. And I mean, he committed. He's another ESPN 300 athlete. And I mean, you can't really get upset with any of these guys. I mean, everybody's getting a little bit. I mean, with the USC commit, Malachi Nelson, I mean, they lost a few. But then they get the best quarterback in all of the high school football world. And I know Archie Manning, he could maybe be another one of those top quarterbacks in the college football recruiting world. But he was ranked second. Okay, he was ranked second overall because Malachi Nelson was the number 1 overall. And then obviously, all the other teams like UCF, Michigan, and then you go through it. Miami's still continuing to add on to their arsenal. Utah State's even getting a few in the form of a 4-star offensive tackle, Taliafa Tala, who was 203rd in the ESPN rankings. And, I mean, he was going to be going to the Aggies, but that didn't happen. Now he's going to Utah State. I don't know what you really find in Utah State. I don't know really what you find in Utah at all. But either way, you know what? The Aggies, they could have used him, but now Utah State's got him, and it's good to see that Utah is kind of just, adding on to their arsenal. But then also we can't forget about Georgia as they take in a few people like Daniel Harris, who was ranked 157th overall. I mean, the big numbers are coming in. We get to see a lot of these guys, and it's exciting to see. And it's just going to keep on going throughout the rest of today. So we will be bringing you guys all of the updates on that. And let me check. There's nobody else that has gone yet. So we'll move on to the next story, and that's going to be going into the legacy of Franco Harris. Now, I feel like when we're dealt with such a big loss in the National Football League world, okay, we need to kind of look back on the impact that they made on the league. Franco Harris should definitely be known for more than just the immaculate catch that led the Steelers to their very first playoff win, that then led to their very first Super Bowl win. Now, yes, that is a huge deal in Steelers history, but Harris went on to win 4 Super Bowls with this Steelers squad, and in that meantime, he also won the Super Bowl 9, which is, I'm going to teach you something, all right now. It's a dash and then an X. That is the number 9.
A dash and an X?
Yeah.
Like a line and an X?
Line and an X.
Got it.
And then after that, it's just an X. That's Super Bowl 10. And then after that, it's Super Bowl X1. Like X line. I don't know exactly what that Roman numeral means, but either way, it doesn't really matter.
Super Bowls are going to be having Guilty Gear titles.
I know. It's going to get to that one day. But
Super Bowl X1. Revelator Rev 2.
Mortal Kombat X. Literally, I mean, that's just what they're doing. I mean, that's just what it's going on to be. But in that Super Bowl 9, he also won the MVP trophy, rushing for 158 yards in the 16-6 victory over the Vikings. And at that time, it was the most rushing yards in a Super Bowl. And even to this day, only 3 other players have surpassed Harris's rushing yards in a Super Bowl. Harris is also a 3-time Pro Bowler and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1990, being one of the 18 Steelers to be inducted of all time. After the NFL, Franco and his fellow teammate Liddell Mitchell started a bakery company that's still open today in the form of R Super Foods. And, here's to a great life. And, a legacy living strong. The Steelers are set to retire the number 32 in their Week 16 matchup against the Raiders, which is very beautiful. I wish that he was able to be there at that game because, again, the Raiders were the team that they beat in the playoffs whenever that immaculate catch happened. And, it's just something. It's like, is it the worst time he could have passed away? Or is it around like one of the, and it's never a good time to pass away, I'll say that. But is it one of the more fitting times for him to pass away? And around this, now, there's going to be a lot more emotion going into that ceremony. And again, we wish he could have saw his number be retired. But at the same time, we can just look back on it because that's the type of stuff that happens. You never know when God's going to pick you next. And I don't want to bring too much religion into this, but you know what? At the time, this is the time that God needed him. So he brought him back up there, and now he's chilling up there with the Angels and all the other greats in Steelers history. So again, to a wonderful career from Franco Harris and just a wonderful life and doing what he loves. We wish you the best in heaven, and we wish his family, the best in their, what they want to do. I don't know exactly, but still, we're praying for them and keeping him in our prayers. But now moving on to, Bandi, if you have any cool segment topics you want to throw in, you can. But I will also give you your next Christmas-related question.
The Christmas-related question.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, and that is going to be, what is your holiday guilty pleasure?
Holiday guilty pleasure.
Yeah. You got to dig deep for this one.
See, I don't know. Is it really a guilty pleasure if I don't feel guilty about doing it?
Well, say what it is. Let me know. I'll tell you if it's valid or not.
It's just dumb, but it's literally just watching. I can't go a holiday season without watching the Peanut special.
Okay.
At least once. So, I just make it my mission to do it just every year at some point. Or a little bit. Some of those VeggieTales Christmas music songs do go hard.
Oh, they do. They go hard.
They are pretty good.
That's very nice. Yeah, I could see myself walking in on you listening to the entire VeggieTales holiday special soundtrack. For me, I'd say my guilty pleasure obviously is going to be eggnog. I would eat that. I would drink that constantly. It doesn't matter if it's got alcohol in it or not. I'd prefer the non-alcoholic eggnog so I can just drink as much as I want without having to, worry about how sober that I am. But I know my belly will be acting up after that. But Bandi, do you have any cool stories you'd like to throw into the cool segment of the show?
Yeah, so it turns out not only can Lionel Messi not get into his house, barely,
okay,
through the crowd of people, he had to be evacuated from the parade in a helicopter.
Wow, jeez, that's when you know you're a star.
It's if you thought like the NBA Finals parades, like in LA, or like the NFL parades after a Super Bowl win are insane. Clearly we have not been to South America after they win the World Cup.
Look at the videos alone, dude. It is insane. I didn't even know there was that many people in Argentina. It's insane.
Yeah, and they're all for Messi. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Messi, really, because it really has been a story of just always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah.
For Messi when it came to these. Like, he hasn't won the Copa America. Like, he went on a streak where, it was literally maybe came second or got out in the round of 16 for Copa America and the World Cup for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And then this year, finally won Copa America. So they go on to the World Cup, and he finally wins his first World Cup.
It's a good time for him right now. This year is going to be in his mind for the rest of his life. That is one thing.
I can end it off with, it is now definitive Messi over Ronaldo.
I can say that as well. I say that as well. Messi, Messi, Messi!
Messi has taken the argument for now.
For now, yeah.
Ronaldo does still have time to take that argument back and get the accolades he needs. But as of right now, Messi over Ronaldo.
Yes, I can agree with that. And now, Bandi, to lead us out, obviously, got to throw you one more question related to Christmas, because this is just the thing we're going to consistently do until tomorrow's end of the show at 4 o'clock. And this is going to be, what is your most controversial Christmas opinion you have?
I don't like Christmas music.
That is very controversial.
There you go.
That is very controversial. I'd say that is not. I don't know how you don't like Christmas music. We can get into it again.
I can't stand the tune. Like the radio Christmas music you always hear, like not like the Christmas musicals or something. I can get that, like Charlie Brown Christmas, like all the movies. I get it.
Yeah.
But like radio Christmas music that you hear constantly, like over the airwaves.
Yeah,
or
Mariah
like
Carey,
Michael Bublé. Like the tune all sounds the same. It all sounds the same to me. And it just grates my ears.
Yeah.
It grinds my gears to listen to it.
Okay. I will say that I don't like fruitcake.
Fruitcake?
Yeah. I don't know if that's controversial or anything really.
I don't think I've ever had it.
I mean, I see it and I'm just like, that looks disgusting. It looks like you get your trash bin and then you just dump it on a little bit of cake filling and then you stick it in the microwave or whatever you bake it in. The oven. You stick it in the oven and then it just kind of culminates into something that looks shiny but probably tastes very, very gross. But we're going to hop into a break. When we come back, we're going to preview the second hour, and we're going to talk about all of what we're going to talk about with RJ White because we got a lot to get into. You guys don't go anywhere because you're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
New Year's Eve in Nashville has a new twist this year.
Touchdown, right up the middle, 45 yards.
The 25th annual Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl is Saturday, December 31st at 11 a.m.
Still on his feet, touchdown!
Get your ticket to the biggest party in Nashville as the Iowa Hawkeyes and Kentucky Wildcats square off at Nissan Stadium. For more information on this year's game, including ticket availability, visit MusicCityBowl.com. Presented by the Tennessee Lottery.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
I have to get to sleep.
Tom had a stressful day, and now he can't shut down at bedtime.
Need sleep.
To fall asleep fast, millions of people turn to Unisom sleep gels. They're non-habit forming and quickly help you sleep soundly so you wake recharged. Tom? Unisom sleep gels. A stressful day deserves a restful night. Use as directed. Active ingredient diphenhydramine hydrochloride.
The safety oath. Repeat after me. I will safely bring safety to my facility and keep it safe. I will safely keep my people safe. I will put safety first in everything I do, and I will safely do so with Grainger. When you think safety, think Grainger. Grainger's got over 100,000 safety products to help keep our facility safe and our people safer. When it comes to safety, Grainger's got your back. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Blitz has been called.
Hello and welcome back, everybody.
Come Santa Claus, here
Come Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane.
I got you.
So a winter Wednesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. If you're just joining us, we've already gone over the cool segment. We've already gone over the beginning stories. A lot of people getting committed to their respected colleges. And let me check if they've got any updates for us on the ESPNs, because we have that going constantly throughout it, so we can keep you guys up to date with all of that. And it doesn't look like anybody else has committed as of yet, but we'll make sure you guys get all the news on that, because Alabama did get the two boys that were just a package deal right there in one Mr. Jaquavius Rousseau and James Smith. And, you know, from those guys alone, I mean, that's top right there. That's tops, okay? Those are 2 5-stars that, you know, a package deal yet again. They might transfer in the future. Will they transfer together? One thing I will be looking forward to, maybe not, but they probably will, and we'll probably talk about it whenever that happens, probably next year, unless Alabama wins a national championship, and then they won't have to do that at all. But I mean, it's just what we're going through in the world of sports. And if you guys want to hear us more, make sure you guys have our app, the Blitz Sports Radio app, as well as 97.7 ESPN The Zone on Apple and Android devices, where you can hear all of your favorite sports talk commentary all day, every day, because we are constantly going. And except for on Friday, because this Friday, you know, we got to get ready for the Christmas spirit.
You know it.
And that's what we're going to be doing. And that's what we've been doing all of today with the questions that I've been asking. And, I mean, Bandi, if you want to ask a question as well, you can. But my next question to you will be, what would you have, or what would be the most offended Christmas present, like the Christmas present that offended you the most? What would be that?
A Christmas present that would offend me the most?
Yeah.
If I were to open up a package and you got me a James Harden jersey.
Oh, that would offend. Yeah.
That would just gross me out.
Yeah. I could say the same for like the Steelers or something like that.
It's like, you want to talk about the one player I can't stand in the NBA is James Harden.
Yeah.
Can't stand him.
He can stand.
He can stand.
He can stand, but you can't stand him.
He passed Charles Barkley's scoring record. Like, he's climbing up the scoring ladder, which I don't like seeing.
I think obviously a Steelers jersey would make me pretty offended. I think anything to do with like acne care for me, because I mean look at my skin. I got some clear skin, you know. I mean, I would be like, oh, I appreciate it. Do you think I got pimples or something? Like, I'm full blown Italian. The pimples don't even exist anymore, you know. And then I think that Tom would probably get offended if you got him like the history of the French. Because
history of the French?
Yeah, I think that because me and Tommy, we like to do a little joke on him, especially whenever we have a nice little family dinner. When we bring up stuff, there's a lot of politics. Obviously, that's, you know, controversial topic at the dinner table. But then we bring up questions. So, Dad, aren't we part French? He's like, no, we're not.
We're not French.
We're Italian, and you guys are a little bit German. That's what he says. Ramble, ramble, ramble. That's what he does. Either way. This hour has been presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The next hour will be presented by somebody else. One thing we can say for certain, RJ White's hopping on with us to talk with Week 15 football in the NFL and looking forward to Week 16 and who you should be betting on. That's all coming up when we get back. You guys don't go anywhere because you're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
Champy's famous fried chicken started in Chattanooga, but the history of the fried chicken, hand-rolled Mississippi Delta tamales, and comfort food sides started decades before. Champy's famous fried chicken is made from an old family recipe from down in the Delta, and everything is fresh and homemade, including all of the sides and desserts. Come visit Champy's famous fried chicken. You'll find it's the best fried chicken and hand-rolled tamales you've ever had. On Madison Boulevard in the old Bison's location in the Publix Plaza with 22 taps in the full-service bar and 2 outdoor patios. See ya at Champy's.
This is Wes Neighbors with Phillip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Look out in the street there. You know what you don't see? My car, because I had to sell it to pay the lawyer I hired when I got busted for drunk driving. You know what else you don't see? My girlfriend, who decided that a guy with no car and no license and no money was no fun. And hey, you know what else you don't see? You don't see me leaving for work in the morning, because I missed so much time with court and everything that I got fired.
Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This hour of The Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for The Blitz.
That man is playing Gallagher. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Captain Cool and the Bandi Man.
Hello and welcome back in hour number 2 here in the Afternoon Blitz land, aka No Man's Land, aka the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
Hello.
If you guys want to find us on the socials, you can find us at Twitter at @theblitz_sports, and you can follow us on Twitch and YouTube at WZZNTV. You guys can't call us now because we have a guest on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, which we are going to talk extensively about some NFL, Week 15, Week 16 football, and talk about all the lines you need to know about going into your betting day, or whatever you want to call it. This second hour is presented by Woody Anderson Ford, the place you need to get, or the place you need to go to get your best vehicles for the best prices. Drive home in a brand new 2022 Bronco, Mustang, or if you're into trucks, they have a plethora of nice ones for you. Bobby White and his crew will take care of you guys, so find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. Now, I feel like I got to ask a Christmas question to our said guest. That is one Mr. RJ White from Sportsline.com, and I will. But RJ, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing wonderful. We're really in the spirit right now. And right off the bat, I want to ask you a Christmas question because, you know, that's just what we're going to be doing. I mean, not the entire interview, of course, but I want to whip it out for you right off the bat. And I will say this, okay? What Christmas carol gets stuck in your head the most?
I don't know. It's a tough one. Probably not many. If anything, it'd be Jingle Bells, especially the Jingle Bell Rock. I think that was in the Home Alone movies.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that just pops into my head. I guess a scene from that movie, and I start singing it.
Yeah, I don't know if you actually get Christmas carolers. I know Bandi Man just saw his first group of them the other day, so I guess it's a rare breed nowadays. But either way, it really does let you know that it is the Christmas time. So, but let's get into the actual questions we want to talk about, and that's in week 15. And I kind of want to go into this Cowboys-Jaguars game because, first off, Cowboys already going to the playoffs. They're already, set to do what they need to do going forward. The Jaguars, on the other hand, they've had a shaky season on, off, on, and now as of late, they've been a little bit more on than usual with Trevor Lawrence doing a little bit better in his right. But I kind of want to know where this puts the Cowboys on your rankings. And, is this going to be maybe something we see more of in the playoffs with the Cowboys just losing games they should be winning?
Well, I took them down a little bit because they gave up 503 or 504 yards in that game. Had only given up 400 yards once all season, and the Jaguars put 500 on them. So a little bit concerned about the defense. The offense still looks fine. They put up 34 points, I believe, in that game. Took them down slightly in terms of the power rating from 6.5 points above average to 6. But that still leaves them fourth place in the league right now because the Eagles are ranked under them with their backup quarterback in place. My power ratings are really only for determining the spreads for the current week's games. So if a backup quarterback's going to play, you knock the team down. So the Eagles right now are out of the top 3. That's Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and then Dallas is right there at number 4 with teams like that have their backup quarterbacks like the Niners and Eagles, which are very solid otherwise, very good across the roster behind those teams.
Exactly. And then going forward to the Tennessee Titans, who have now lost 4 straight, their most recent loss against the Chargers. And, this team just looks totally different now. And, it could be to the fact that they don't have any wide receivers they can throw to. Their defense isn't playing the way they need to. And now they're going against the Houston Texans next week, who have kind of been on a roll, doing a little bit better, even though they're still 1-13 and 1 as well. But kind of just talk on, more on why the Titans are kind of falling apart pretty much at this point in the season and, how they can possibly regain a little bit of that traction going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the surprising thing was how well they played at the beginning of the season because, a lot of people going into the season thought Indy was going to win that division. Now, Indy's obviously terrible, but that also speaks to Tennessee not being as productive as they were last year in people's minds just based on the roster construction there. And they defied expectations. They still kept on winning games and shot out to this massive lead. And now they're really just kind of normalizing. So if you take the average of where they are on the season, they're about a 500 team, which I think is probably what people expected going into the season. So it seems like they're falling apart here. Dealt with a lot of injuries, particularly on the defensive side. And then, you can't, once Treylon Burks got hurt, they really don't have anybody else to trust in the passing game. Lean a lot on the tight ends, which is fine. Baltimore has made that work too. But Baltimore is elite in a lot of other places besides, that passing game to receivers. And so if you're not elite in all these other places, if you can't rely on the defense, especially the pass defense, if you can't rely on the offensive line you do to block well, then you're kind of, behind the 8 ball and trying to catch up. So not too surprising where they are now. They're around the middle of the pack team when Ryan Tannehill's healthy. Right now, signs are pointing to he's not going to play this week. They signed somebody off another practice squad, a quarterback, I believe, Dobbs. So it looks like it'll be a Malik Willis game. Of course, that's a massive downgrade. You don't have to really respect the pass when Willis is in there, but he was the quarterback the last time they played Houston, and Derrick Henry rushed for 1,000,000 yards, and they won that game pretty handily.
And then since we're just constantly moving on through these teams, we kind of got to look at the Vikings and the Colts game because obviously one of the biggest blown leads by the Colts just in all of NFL history pretty much, with them being up 33-0 at halftime. And the Vikings kind of just had a surge of life going into the second half of this game. And now we look at, the Colts, obviously we don't want to talk about them too much because it'd be beating a dead horse, but they're going to be going with Nick Foles this week in their little matchup. But then the Vikings, on the other hand, showing a little bit more of that unstable, foundation that they've been kind of riding on all season, yet still having that 11-3 record. What are you going to see from this team moving forward? And what were the Colts even on at that first half of that game?
Yeah, it's this thing with the Vikings that they're not very good defensively, especially against the pass. And then so when Jonathan Taylor gets hurt and the Colts have to pass more, that actually works into their favor because that's how you take advantage of the Vikings. And then everything falls apart after halftime. They're not, it's really a coaching thing above all else. If you can't protect the 33-point lead at halftime, then that's on the coaches. And that's kind of what I've stressed with Josh McDaniels a lot when he's giving up these double-digit leads in the second half. It's a coaching. You got to be able to put these things away. You're not going to get an easier situation than double-digit leads, after halftime in the NFL. You got to win those games. And so these teams that are struggling to do that, in these situations, you have to question the coaching there. So I don't know. We'll see if the team can respond. Nick Foles, I think it probably might give them a little bit of a spark. He's obviously wants to prove that he is a starting capable quarterback. He figured that the offense otherwise is kind of hanging its head and figures the season's over after that kind of loss. The defense, I don't know what's going on that side of the ball. They are a solid player-wise going in, but they've dealt with injuries too. I think Kenny Moore has missed several weeks. One of the better slot corners in the league, so that has something to do with it. When you're facing a team with great receivers like Minnesota, they can exploit some of that. We saw KJ Osborne have a huge game because you're just pushing on that depth of Indy. So I think the thing with Minnesota is they're 11-3, but their point differential, I believe, is +2. They're really playing like a 500 team, and they're just winning all these close games and then getting blown out in a few games. And those 3 losses, 2 of them were Eagles and Cowboys, very good defenses. So they'll have to play at least one of those teams probably in the playoffs. And then when they face this elite defense, the offense is going to be able to carry the defensive side of the ball that isn't playing well. So it seems like they are obviously going to make the playoffs. They're winning the division. They're going to go in. But I can't see them making a ton of noise in the playoffs unless they just get super favorable matchups all the way through.
Yeah. RJ White from Sportsline.com talking Week 15 and Week 16 lines, and kind of looking at 2 other teams that have been pretty steady throughout this entire season, the Chiefs and the Eagles, both going up against, below average teams in the Texans and the Bears. Kind of just talk on, how these 2 games affected their, line in your power rankings, and, what you kind of had going into this, what you expected to be the matchups that were, turned out to be very close matchups at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's surprising the Chiefs struggled against the Texans. I think anybody could tell you that. It was, I believe, a 14.5 point favorite going in. I docked them a little bit. They're down to 7, but they're still a +7.5 point team in the ratings. They're number 2 behind Buffalo right now, only by a half point, tied with Cincinnati. So they're still very good. So you look at the score, and they struggled in the score. They're making some dumb turnovers here and there. But then you look at the box score, and they outgained Houston at something like 503 yards to 220. So, it was just a massive beatdown that you would typically see in a 34-7 type of game. And this just happened to not go in their favor. They didn't punch it in as much. Houston was able to get some cheap scores here and there. So I'm not too worried about the Chiefs. I think that the box score is more indicative of how that game went rather than the final score. So I left them pretty much where they were. The Eagles, I had to downgrade just because of the quarterback injury when you're going from Jalen Hurts, who was the MVP front runner before that injury was announced, to Gardner Minshew, who's still a good quarterback, and he has a great surrounding cast. So I still believe in the Eagles. I put them at the same level as the 49ers right now, playing with their backup quarterback, but it's still a downgrade. I had the Eagles as the number 1 team in the league before that injury at 8.5 points above average. I have them 3 points above average going into this week, which puts that Dallas line probably around 6. So I think it's come down a little bit as people are buying more into the Minshew hype. So we'll see if it keeps going down and we get a number around 4 or 4.5 or so, when I believe the number probably should be 6 with how the Cowboys are playing.
Very nice. Now moving forward to Week 16 action, the Bengals versus the Patriots is one game I want to look at because obviously the Patriots are, they're not the favorite in this game, whereas the Bengals, they are a 3-point line on this one. And, the Patriots had a heartbreaking loss to the Raiders last week, and what should have went to overtime and probably would have been a Patriots victory if it went in their favor, but it didn't happen that way, and now they're sitting at 7-7. And, they're not doing bad on the season. The Bengals sitting at 10-4, and this game looks to be close from, a statistics point of view, but then looking a little bit more into it, I want to get your opinion on what you have it going down to be.
Yeah, I think the line is too low. It was 3.5. It's come down to 3 in the market now. I think that's the wrong direction for it. I think Cincinnati has proven themselves time and again. They are 11-1 against the spread in their last 12 games, 10-2 overall. They had those 2 ugly games at the beginning of the season, but they've been very good since then. It took time for the offensive line to come together. That's typically what happens when you make major changes to the offensive line. Bring in several people. It takes some time to gel and have familiarity with each other. And they've been better. There's still been a few rocky times here and there, when they're facing elite pass defenses. And so you look at New England's defense, you're like, oh, they have a very good defense too. They could cause them some problems, and that may be true. But they've done a lot of their work against backup quarterbacks in that Arizona game. They got to play Colt McCoy for basically the whole game, and they still had struggled to win that game until the second half when they got a lucky kind of fumble return off lackadaisical play from DeAndre Hopkins. Other times in the season, they played Sam Ellinger, they played Zach Wilson twice. They're getting to beat up on these backup level quarterbacks time and again, and then when they face these really good teams, they tend to struggle. They had no chance against very good offenses in Miami, Buffalo, even Baltimore when they were playing well earlier in the season. So it seems to me like Cincinnati really fits more into that mold of a Baltimore, Kansas City, Miami type of offense with how Joe Burrow was playing than it does some of these other Zach Wilson, Sam Ellinger-led offenses. And that could give New England some trouble here. So I think that with the New England offense not playing that well, I mean, Jacoby Myers owned up to the plate. He said, "It's my fault. Nobody told me to lateral. I've got to be better at this, that, and the other." But it still is a failure of coaching not to tell everybody's not aware of the situation, and you can't do something like that. You see with these plays when guys get a first down and they go down before scoring a touchdown because they want to run the clock. That's because the coach has to tell them, this is what we need to do in the play. This is how we win the game, is if you give up the touchdown and you go down here, everybody's aware of what they need to do on the play. That's got to happen, and that comes from the coaches. And when these people aren't prepared, I think it looks negatively on the coaches. So if it wasn't Bill Belichick in the situation, people might be calling for his head. Now, this is the greatest coach of all time, so he gets as much leeway as he wants, with that team. So to me, it just seems like Cincinnati is the higher quality opponent that New England's not used to, and even in New England, I think that game should be closer to 6 than 3. So I think there's a lot of value on the Cincy side.
Yeah, RJ White with us from Sportsline.com does a fantastic job of covering everything NFL related and betting line related. But I just want to go real quick into the Patriots-Raiders game because, my goodness, what an ending this was. And really, did this game might have ended up costing the Patriots their playoff chances. They're sitting one game behind the Dolphins. They have really one game to catch up and hope Miami potentially might lose out. But could this have potentially cost the Patriots their playoff chances?
It could. I mean, it depends on how they play from here on out. They have a tough task this week, obviously, against Cincinnati. So we'll see how they do there. But it's a tough race. You have teams like the Chargers caught up now. They're at 8-6. I'm not sure if anybody below New England is going to make any noise, but you still have the Jets hanging around there at 7-7. So you obviously are going to get 2 from the AFC North with Cincy and Baltimore, probably, and then you go from there. Buffalo winning theirs, Kansas City winning theirs. You only really got 2 spots between Miami, New England, the Jets, and then the Chargers. And yeah, they're probably behind the 8 ball now with that loss, and it's got to feel like that. But if anybody can rally the troops, you figure it'd be Bill Belichick. So we'll see how he responds this week.
And then looking at another game that obviously we kind of talked on a little bit about, because Jalen Hurts is going to be out of this game. And, I mean, we're going to get Gardner Minshew for the Eagles. And this isn't the matchup we wanted to see, okay? We wanted to see Jalen Hurts going up against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, and we wanted to see an all-out battle that would just be amazing. But now the Cowboys are favored immensely in this one, and I kind of want to get your opinion on where it kind of sits in your power rankings. How much does Gardner Minshew really affect this Eagles team going into this Cowboys matchup? Because we've seen it before. Sometimes the backups can play good or just as good as the starters. But really, what are the Eagles losing in this one?
Yeah, Gardner Minshew is one of the better backups in the league from what we've seen in the past, but he's not at the level, he's not an MVP-level quarterback, and that's what they were getting from Jalen Hurts. You also can't do the same things with him offensively. It's a tough offense to defend, knowing his rushing ability can factor in there. It opens up lanes for the running backs, and then so you're worried about the quarterback doing that, but you also have to worry about the receivers downfield, too. They are also getting Dallas Goedert back for this game, so that's going to help Minshew. But he's going to be more of a pocket passer in this game, whereas Hurts would have been a more difficult quarterback to defend for Dallas. So we'll see if that helps. Their elite pass rush is going to have a little bit more tougher time going up against this veteran offensive line. It's very good. So whereas they could take advantage of some of these other teams and other matchups and take advantage of their offensive lines, they might not be able to do that against this Eagles unit, captained by Kelsey in the middle, and then you're pretty strong across the board there. So we'll see how that matchup goes. I downgraded them 5.5 points, like I said earlier, because I just think with Hurts playing at an MVP level and you're losing that portion of the offense with his rushing ability, you have to give him some downgrade. But I couldn't put the Eagles behind the 49ers in my power ratings because the 49ers are doing the same thing with their third quarterback, 7th-round rookie Brock Purdy. I think, based on his experience, Minshew is better than Brock Purdy. And the supporting cast are pretty similar. Eagles don't have as good a defense, but they have a pretty good defense. So, they're one of the top 5 in the league. And then on the offensive side of the ball, they definitely have better weapons, I think, in the passing game than the 49ers do. So I think that kind of balances out there. So I still think Eagles are an elite team, +3 in my power ratings. To me, when you put them up against the Cowboys, who I have as a +6, you give the Cowboys 3 points for home field advantage because of a good home field. That should make the line 6. But now it looks like it's trending downward toward 4.5, 4. So there might be some value on the Dallas side as people buy into Minshew a little bit more than probably they should, and not give him as much of a downgrade from Hurts as they should.
Yeah, which I mean, kind of speaking about defenses, kind of moving real quick over to the Bears team. I mean, they're out of playoff contention at this point, but heading into next season, their defense is still relatively solid, and Justin Fields is pretty much, from what I've been seeing, doing all he can to try to make this offense work. But what does this Bears team need to do heading into the postseason and heading into the offseason to try to improve and really get back up to a good, NFL standard as a team?
Well, first they have to draft well. They need to pile up as many picks as they can. I don't know why they're trading picks for Chase Claypool, but you need to get those cheap talent in there and surround Fields and with some capable people both on the offensive line and some playmakers. Maybe that's thinking with Claypool, even though he hasn't shown it to this date, and I think that was a very valuable pick they gave up. But I think really hitting on the draft is going to be key. You're probably not going to entice too many free agents in when you're a team that has struggled so much and it seems so far away. But if you throw enough money at people, I mean, they do have a lot of money. I was looking at it when people were talking about where Josh Jacobs could end up as a running back. The best running back in the class. He's a unrestricted free agent going into the season. They didn't put the fifth year option on him. And it's like, well, I looked at the caps for next year, and the Bears have just an amazing amount of cap that most teams don't. So even if it's not a Josh Jacobs that they signed because they're comfortable with Montgomery or comfortable with Herbert because Montgomery is also a free agent, and they want to roll with Herbert, they still have a ton of money. They can throw at a few pieces depending on who's available on the defensive side of the ball. Try to fill out a star on kind of each level of the defense to replace some of the guys they lost, like Quinn and Roquan in the middle of the defense. They really need to have those kind of leaders on the defense to shepherd them forward with the young guys they already have.
And then, one of the final questions I want to ask you, this far in the season, Week 16 is what we're going into. I kind of want to know your opinions or just, understand, who you think will actually make it to the Super Bowl in a realistic fashion. And, who do you possibly – I know, this is early, but who do you think has the best chance of winning a Super Bowl this season?
Well, it's going to come down to the matchups in the playoffs, as it often does. I think that Buffalo is going to be a tough out on the AFC side. Cincy has proven themselves, so maybe they can go in and win anywhere after what they did with the Chiefs. But I think Buffalo is just going to be pretty strong to beat with their strength on both sides of the ball in the AFC. NFC seems a little more wide open, depends on Jalen Hurts' health. If he's healthy going into the divisional round, then I think that it's probably going to be the Eagles. They're clearly the best team in the NFC to me. If he's not healthy, I think San Francisco can come in and steal it. Maybe a Dallas can go on the road and win some games, although I'm not as confident in them winning out on the road if they don't win the division. So before the season, I put in a few bets on futures like I always do. I had the Ravens winning the AFC. I think there's still a slight chance that happens if Lamar Jackson is fine. I put San Francisco winning the whole thing. And so I'm going to be rooting for the San Francisco side, aside from my teams, my Buffalo Bills. Hopefully it's going to be a Bills 49ers Super Bowl for me, so I can root for my team, and if they lose, I get paid out pretty nice.
That would be nice as well. I want to see Brock Purdy succeed in this league. It's obviously an underdog story, so it's something to be looking at. But RJ White has been our guest from Sportsline.com. We appreciate your time, and tell the people where they can find you on socials and just online in general.
Yeah, you can find all my content at sportsline.com and my expert picks there. If you download the Sportsline app and sign up for notifications, you get all my picks as I make them. So you can lock those picks in the market. Use promo code WHITE to get your first month of full access to Sportsline for $1. Find me on social at RJWhite1 on Twitter.
Very nice. Thank you very much, RJ. We will be looking forward to talking with you next week, and we hope you have a wonderful Christmas day.
Thank you, Cindy.
RJ White from Sportsline.com. Next week, I'm gonna have to ask him, what maybe some insight on what's to come from Sportsline. Maybe some things that we can get on with deals and all that whatnot. Because I know Sportsline does throw out a few deals, like maybe like $1 picks. You get you can hop in and see all the good content that RJ and the rest of the crew put out. But that's something for another week. We're going to hop into a break because when we come back, the Bandi Man and the E play-by-play are going down. So you guys aren't going to want to miss a second of that. That's all coming up here on the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom. We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty. Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Are you looking for that right heating and air company to keep those winter blues away? Look no further than Talent Heating and Air. Thomas with us this morning. Thomas, locally owned, no better way to go.
That's right. We're based in Huntsville, so you know you're going to get timely service. Normally we can get to you within that day that you called.
And that number is?
It is 256-503-4490.
And you have special treats for our 97.7 ESPN The Zone listeners.
That's right. For all the listeners that mention this ad, they can get $1,000 off a unit replacement if they call in by the end of the year.
And that number again to call?
256-503-4490.
Thomas, we've given them the phone number to call, but you guys also have a website as well. Let our listeners know the website to find Talent Heating and Air.
Yeah, that website is talenthvac.com. You can schedule on that website, and we can get out to your house that same day a lot of times.
All right, one more time for our listeners. It's $1,000 off.
$1,000 off to the end of the year on 15 SEER and above units.
All right, it's Talent Heating and Air, locally owned right here in Huntsville. Give them a call today.
Renowned sports artist Daniel A. Moore has teamed with master sculptor David Grieco to create Finish, the first in a line of limited edition bronzes. See the artist's work on Finish now at newlifeart.com. Finish captures Kenyon Drake's dive into the end zone after his 95-yard kickoff return in the 2016 National Championship game. Available in 3 sizes with the artist and Kenyon Drake's signatures cast into each piece. Precasting prices are available at newlifeart.com. Hurry, this offer won't last long.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Network. I'm your host, Bandi. Okay, you actually don't know this one.
I don't know this one. Is
Elton John.
Is this one that you jam with?
Yeah, I can jam with this one. I can jam to Elton John.
Okay.
We couldn't jam to Elton John.
Somebody, probably a deaf person.
I mean,
that's just this really dark joke right there.
Oh boy, what a great way to start off the E play-by-play. But you know what? Welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz, everyone. I'm the Bandi Man, Captain Cool John Abraham across the glass, across the aisle, on the other camera. I'm on camera 2.
I'm on camera 2. It's camera 2.
Look how quiet it is.
Oh, jeez.
But this hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can find the best cars.
For the best prices.
For the best deals. I mean,
yeah.
Okay. No, you've got the order
right.
right.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, you've got the order right.
No,
I still
okay.
don't have the order.
Okay.
But you know what? Truly great cars at Woody Anderson Ford.
Very
Tactical, take it away.
Very, very, very for sure. You can get the beautiful F-150, the Maverick, or the Ranger if you're into trucks. And if you're not, you want a little something sporty, get a brand new Ford Mustang. And if you want to go off a road in a nice little travel vehicle, the Ford Bronco is the vehicle for you. And if you want your very own shag wagon like I have the 2004 Ford Expedition, get yourself a Ford Explorer or a Ford Expedition of nowadays, because those things are luxurious to say the least. Go meet Bobby White and the rest of his crew, and they will take care of you. Find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. Bandi, I won't interrupt you again, except for I will say this before I let you talk anymore. You guys can join the conversation because we're wide open the rest of the day. 256-576-4977 is the number to call. Bandi, take it away, my guy.
Oh, well, apparently Vicious broke less than an hour ago.
Okay.
Apparently the next reported Apex character has their abilities have been leaked.
Oh.
And they're already looking pretty broken.
Oh.
Siege players have been getting hacked with chickens. Risk of Rain is getting a remake, and IGN just listed their top 10 best Call of Duty campaigns. We're going to run through it. We did this list kind of a little bit on our own a couple weeks ago, so we're going to go through, see whether or not it's valid.
Sweet.
That's all coming up on the E play-by-play.
We also have some breaking news in the world of recruiting.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, before you do that, Bandi Man, Texas landed their 12th ESPN 300 commit in Tausili Akana, who is number 113 in the rankings, and he is an outside linebacker, overall 9th in the country. He's going there to Texas to be a Longhorn over Louisville, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Alabama, as well as a bunch of other ones. And Georgia also adds another 5-star defensive end in the form of Damon Wilson, who ranked 31st in ESPN's rankings, and he is the 3rd overall in his position. He had other offers from Alabama and Ohio State, and several others, but Georgia is where he will be calling home for the next year or 4. Who really knows, Bandi?
Who really knows? Now, I'm taking a look at these abilities that got leaked for this new Apex Legend.
Okay.
And I will say, design 10 out of 10. Ballistic the arms dealer.
Oh, I gotta see
Looks
this.
Sick. He's kind of like an older, gruff guy with really cool shades, but he looks kind of like an arms dealer you would see in Fallout or these cyberpunkish kind of games.
I thought you were about to say Fall Guys.
Not Fall Guys. They are getting a lot of different crossovers.
Yeah.
We did just get a. God, what was it? Not Bella Thorne. It was
Oh yeah, this guy does look cool. He looks like a. Yeah, he looks like a Terminator, but with like a beard or like a goatee instead of a beard.
Yeah, not Bella Thorne. Oh yeah, Bella Porsche. They just had like a Bella Porsche crossover or collaboration.
Did they?
Yeah, Fall Guys did.
Bella Porsche?
Yeah, Bella Porsche. Like
the TikToker that did that one thing where the camera
just made faces.
It zoomed in on her face and then it just followed her face, and she used to be in the military and all that stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
She used to be in the military?
She used to be in the military, and now she sings music because why not?
I never knew that.
Yeah, well, I remember I actually liked the TikTok video, the first one that she came out with that was like the one that was very popular right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then from there on out, I was like, okay, things are starting to get ridiculous. This is a little annoying at this point, but nevertheless, good on her for getting that bag.
Yeah. My opinion got annoying real fast,
Yeah.
but that's neither here nor there. Ballistic the arms dealer. So apparently his passive, according to the league, will allow him to carry a third weapon that one cannot have any attachments on it. That's pretty cool, but you're the only legend that'll be able to do that. That automatically opens up a lot more versatility.
Yeah.
Like you can run SMG, LMG, sniper now. You can run 3 different kinds of weapons that take 3 different kinds of ammo. You'll be pretty set for the late game, and you can do this right off the jump.
Yeah.
You don't need to grab a backpack like in Warzone.
It's very fitting for him because he is the arms dealer, so he will have plenty of guns. I think that is a good little touch. It's very simple, But it is a good little touch that will change up the game.
And I do like the balancing part of it too, and that you cannot have any attachments on it. I do like that aspect of it. While his ultimate ability, this is kind of where we're starting to throw balancing out the window, huh, Respawn? Okay. His ultimate ability gives his team infinite ammo for a period of time, faster reload time, and possibly even faster movement speed. If you've played Overwatch 2, this should sound very familiar.
Kiriko!
Exactly. We got Kiriko in the game. But not for real though. This kind of ultimate ability where you're giving your entire team buffs like this is very, very big.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of making it where if your team has a ballistic and you're going up against a team who doesn't have a ballistic, you got your ult ready, you're already at an advantage. Because I'm sorry, infinite ammo on certain guns is going to be wild.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how is it going to do with, like, if you have the, what is it, the Kramer? The sniper rifle, you know, legendary? How's it going to do on the legendary guns? Like, the Kramer will, like, kill you in one shot easily. And it's kind of reminiscent to Overwatch with Sojourn and her railgun, because it's very similar to that. And also, there's other guns that are literal rail guns in that game. So.
Yeah. Faster reload time. I mean, it did say possibly even faster movement speed. So the movement speed thing could not be a thing. We don't know that yet. Now, the reload time, that's also kind of telling me, I don't know if it's going to be an infinite ammo where you have infinite ammo in your magazine at all times. Like, you can just hold down the trigger and you're constantly firing for as long as the ult is active.
I thought the exact same thing, because I don't think that'd be fair. I think it's literally just you can shoot all the way up until you have to reload. But if it is the latter, that would be insane.
Yeah, which I think would be kind of cool, like considering he's an arms dealer, he might just have like just a ton of reserve ammo on him. So maybe like you can fire your whole magazine when you reload. It doesn't take ammo out of your stock. Or out of your reserves.
I feel like
that sounds better and more balanced to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's more realistic too in that world, because it wouldn't just like where would all this ammo come from? You know, if it can constantly just shot, you know, bullets. Now, whereas ballistic, he is an arms dealer. You made a lot of sense with that. You actually you pointing it out, put that into my perspective, and you know, you think about it, and yes, he would have a lot of ammo. But it's still going to be fitting in the realms of reality, because it is trying to be a realistic game, but in the future.
Here's the thing, though. His ultimate would also equip the third weapon that Ballistic has in his passive, Weapon Sling, as a fully kitted gold weapon. Okay, hold up. How fast is he going to get his ultimate?
Jeez.
Is he getting... I mean, you're telling me you could have yourself a consistent kitted out weapon with your ultimate ready for team fights as early as like the end of the first ring, or maybe like starting for the first ring to close, depending on how fast you're fighting other squads.
So in this,
that's very early.
Does one of your guns that you're already carrying turn into a gold weapon, or okay, so you can choose which gun it is? It's not just okay.
Yeah, it's whichever gun you have like in your passive backpack.
So, yeah, what my question here is, since he can get it probably super early on in the game, can he just do that every single time and start dropping it for his teammates to, you know, use in the later game?
Now, I don't think it's going to work like that. It's probably going to be for the duration of the ultimate.
Okay.
And be only for him.
Okay.
But it's kind of the fact that if you get your ultimate fast enough, I mean, you could be looking in to wipe a squad as early as the first ring closing, or maybe like as it's just beginning to close, with a fully kitted out weapon. That's very early. You're not getting those kind of weapons unless you get very lucky with drops, but it sounds like you're going to have a very consistent way to get that kind of top tier weapon early on in the game.
Yeah,
but that's not even the ability that people are freaking out about.
Not yet? We're not even there yet?
No, this is the last one.
Okay,
the tactical ability is Smart Bullet. Now, if this sounds a little familiar, it should, because people didn't like it when this mechanic was first introduced. This leak, it looks like it will cause enemies' guns to begin heating up when they shoot them. Shooting the weapon too much will then cause the weapon to overheat, which deals damage to enemies as well as causing a reaction in quotes.
Wow.
Which could be holstering the weapon, maybe like a small explosion, or maybe like aim flinch or something. But this also doesn't look like it's going to be a skill shot. This is going to be like a lock-on ability, like a point and click, aim, press the ability, you're hitting them with it. So if you're using an OMG, you get hit by this Smart Bullet, then the Ballistic pops ult, and you're now getting punished for firing your weapons trying to counter the team that's now firing their weapons with infinite ammo and moving faster at you. This could be very controversial very, very early.
Yeah, I
We're
think
going to have to wait to see gameplay and if these leaks hold up. But if this turns out to be true and this is how his kit is, this could be a very controversial Legend release.
It's very overkill. I feel like the smart bullet is like, it's a very strange add-on to him, but it makes sense. Again, he's an arms dealer. He's gonna have hold of some of these advanced bullets in the future. But I think this is going to come to Respawn having to create yet another character in the future, probably right after him, to counter him in a way that they drop shields and they're more of the healer. They fix armor or something like that.
Yeah. Ooh. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited because his kit looks insane.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like a very fun Legend to play.
Of course.
And it's going to shape up the game in a very, very big way.
Yeah. I feel like I wish I did not delete Apex just so I could play as him.
I just hope he's not broken.
He will be, Bandy. Right off the bat, he will be at least.
If he keeps that kit, it will be.
They're going to fix it.
All right. I want to get into his list.
Okay.
Top 10 Call of Duty campaigns. IGN put this out. We did one a couple weeks ago, and one of the big things I was saying is that Infinite Warfare kind of was slept on.
Yeah.
It's like, as a game, we can all agree, not very good. As a whole, campaign underrated. I think it's a top 5 campaign in the series.
I haven't even played the Infinite Warfare campaign because I never played Infinite Warfare in the first place.
Which, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, the multiplayer was honestly the worst part of that game.
I bet. Were there zombies in that game as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say it's underrated.
Yeah, they add on the zombies a lot, so I was just wondering.
Except for the last map.
Yeah.
They didn't need to put the extinction things from Ghost in there.
I know, nobody wants those things anyway. They were in one game and then they were gone forever.
Yeah.
That's how we should have kept it.
It's kind of neat you brought them back, but we didn't need them in zombies. But the first map, the Zombies in Spaceland, where you have Patrick Swayze being the DJ.
Yeah.
And it was in an amusement park, was actually a very well-made map.
Very interesting.
But end of this list, number 10, starting it out. All right, you know what? I think I can validate this at the 10th spot.
Okay.
Call of Duty World War II.
All right.
Well, I think it's the weakest World War II campaign that they've done, like where they've done a game in a World War II setting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the weakest out of the modern games because Call of Duty 1 and 2, like, they were just starting out.
Yeah.
I give them a little bit of slack. They were just starting out. But World War II, it did have its really cool cinematic moments, like the fight on the bridge, the bell tower, and I would say it was paced relatively well. The characters weren't that memorable for me.
Well, it was also a very short campaign as well. Like, compared to, normal campaigns that we've been seeing, and even in, Modern Warfare 2, we get these longer campaigns that go up to like 10 hours, if you're going to play, with time. Where this one went to like 5 hours. It was a very beautiful game.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong.
It looked great.
They put a lot of work into what they made, but it felt a lot shorter, which led to us, not remembering the characters as much. But it was a really cool story, and give it a little bit more time, maybe flesh out it a little bit more, and don't have it so much like the OG Call of Duties. You've had so much time where you can make one that's reminiscent of something more grand like the modern games.
Also, I just want to take back what I just said when I said this is the weakest World War II one. I completely forgot Vanguard exists.
Yeah, no, Vanguard doesn't exist. That's the thing, Bandy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Vanguard, then probably World War II. Number 9, Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
For the time, when this came out, I will say I was impressed by Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
I loved the way it looked, and I liked the campaign.
Yeah.
I did like the way they were going with it, and that was kind of more of a buddy story between you and I forget the name of the other guy.
Doesn't matter.
And it's the classic campaign where the press F to pay respects meme came from.
Exactly.
Cannot forget it for that. And it was also, the main villain was played by Kevin Spacey.
Yes, it was. And a villain he was indeed.
Did not age well.
Did not. It was like right afterwards we heard that Kevin Spacey was doing stuff.
Yeah, it was like a year after, and it's like, ooh. I can't fault them for this because they definitely had no idea.
He's a good guy. He's a popular guy. I'm not going to say he's a good guy. I don't know how he was personally, but he was a good actor.
But honestly, in a weird way, I think it boosted his role as a villain in the game.
Dude.
It made me hate him more. But it was a cool direction that it went. It was for the time. I don't know if I would put it up there for best campaigns. But I definitely wouldn't put it down there for worst. I like the spot that it's at, kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
Average spot.
I'll say the emotional aspect of that game hit a lot harder for whatever reason. And also, I thought, the robo suits were pretty cool. They don't implement well into the multiplayer, though.
Yeah, no. Especially with the pay-to-win aspect.
Exactly.
Number 8, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I don't agree to this.
I've not played this one. They're listed off all the ones that I don't like to play.
I hated the ending. I hated the endings that you could get.
Yeah.
Now, I'm an onion mason. Now, it's a classic line, but it's not the same Sergeant Woods that we know from Black Ops and Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
Number 7, actually, no, not Black Ops 2, from Black Ops 1.
Either one.
Number 7, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It should be top 5, but I'm glad it's here. It's getting some recognition because, yes, it is very good.
We'll get to the games that I play more. I'm sorry.
Just know. Yeah, no, the way IGN describes it, Infinite Warfare is the Halo Reach of Call of Duty campaigns. Yes. If you liked Halo Reach and its campaign, you'll love Infinite Warfare.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
That's all you need to know. That's all I'll tell you. That's all you need to know.
All right. Hopefully it comes free to Game Pass so I can play it for free and not have to worry about all the disgusting tastes I have in my mouth from the multiplayer that I play.
Number 6, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019.
Played through half of it.
You played through half of it? You haven't even beaten it yet?
It's funny because I completed Modern Warfare 2s, but I did not complete that one. I was playing it on Veteran, so it's one of those things where it's just like...
I am peeved because... okay, you know how you asked me what's one of my biggest pet peeves?
What?
It's when I hear people start later in the story than they should. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine as a JoJo's fan if you heard someone skip parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like Modern Warfare 2 like literally takes place right where 2019 leaves off. And I'm like, what? You haven't finished 2019?
Man, I played the original Modern Warfare. This new universe that they're going to. I can learn it loosely. Come on.
But great campaign.
Okay.
I will say. Good example of how to reboot a series, correct.
I will say, yeah, the game as a whole with multiplayer and everything, they implemented Warzone as well. It was one of the most revolutionary games coming back to what the series originally was.
Number 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I can agree. Black Ops 2, I do think, has a weaker campaign than Black Ops 1, but I think overall it's a better game.
Yeah, I thought the exact same.
I would put overall, and I really like it's like you kind of switch between like the futuristic setting of Black Ops 2 and then going back to Raul Menendez's perspective and how he started in the 80s.
I want to ride more horses, Call of Duty. I want to ride more horses.
Yes, okay, that was such a cool scene when I played that for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2,
Good.
2009.
Oh, that's a good one.
The iconic loose end scene in the helicopter honestly shaped me as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the loose end scene and then finishing off Shepard with a throwing knife on Russ and playing the remastered version that they released a couple years ago was like reliving a part of my childhood I completely forgotten about.
It was awesome. The ending to that game.
It was so good.
The ending to that game just like sticks in my memory. When you think of all the Call of Duty endings, like that is a typical like blue blood Call of Duty ending where he's either got to finish off the main villain, shoot the main villain, or throw a knife at him, and that's how the game finishes off. You're on death's door.
And I kind of like it I think what keeps it out of the top 3, though, at least for me, because I do like their placement at number 4.
Yeah.
I think a little bit what keeps it out is that you have really memorable missions, and then you kind of have forgetful ones kind of right in between those really memorable ones. You know what I mean? Like, you'll go from the Avalanche mission where you're climbing Mount
It's awesome.
Ice with soap and infiltrating like a Siberian base and being all stealthy, and then kind of like a lackluster mission in the Brazilian favelas.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, some people like that mission. I personally got a little bored by it. And then you go into the absolute bonkers ending like we just described. But you have a couple of just kind of middle of the road missions mixed between the really memorable ones.
That's kind of how I feel about Modern Warfare 2, and like I know I haven't played the first, in 2019, but I played 2022,
which I hadn't finished that campaign either.
Which I will say this: the game, it just feels like it's missing those lackluster or those insane, scenes that we used to see in days before, like the horse scene and all that stuff. We're missing that stuff. I want more of it.
Yeah.
Continue, Bandi.
Number 3, Call of Duty 2.
Okay.
No, I will say. This is where Call of Duty really got their footing. Like, they made a really good mark with Call of Duty 1. They made a very solid first-person shooter.
Yeah.
And then Call of Duty 2 dropped, and people got to play D-Day for the first time, and then it just hit.
It was good, yeah.
Like, okay, this is what we can do with Call of Duty. This is what we can do on the 360, and this is how we can make a really dang good game while innovating on multiplayer and giving players like a cinematic experience. Like, they wanted to go for that Saving Private Ryan kind of experience, where that first opening scene in that movie, if you're not feeling chills in the first like 10 minutes of watching Saving Private Ryan, I mean, I don't know. I think you might be a little crazy.
You might not feel anything, but I will say they followed it up with an amazing Call of Duty 3 campaign, which I think it was one of those games where I played a lot of, but I got to halfway and then I kept getting blown up by tanks, or I had a stealth mission that I just didn't want to finish.
Yeah. Now the top 2. I'm set. Now I will spoil it a little bit. Modern Warfare 3 is not on here. I'm a little sad.
Makes sense.
Because I do like Modern Warfare 3's campaign. I like the way it wrapped up that trilogy. That'll be an honorable mention on IGN's behalf.
It's a good finish.
But 2 and 1 I believe are interchangeable.
You can push back the time if we need to, by the way.
It's all right. I can wrap it up. Number 2, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 1. These two define what Call of Duty campaigns and single-player campaigns can be. Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 1. It gave us just an absolute lasting impression with iconic mission after iconic mission, all gillied up, going into...
That was the worst. The last one was the worst. I had to get my brother to finish it because I played it when I was like 10 or 12. I could not finish it. I hated stealth missions.
Oh, man, but it was so iconic.
Iconic, yes. The other...
Going through Pripyat and McMillan and Captain McTavish.
And then Black Ops 1 was just like the most interesting thing we got out of Call of Duty, you know, outside of it was like Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare was an amazing campaign. It was great, like on the ground just stuff. But then Black Ops was just like, what is going on? This is insane.
It's like Black Ops 1 not only blew it out of the water with campaign and storytelling, it was a World at War sequel, which I didn't expect it to be because I thought it was just gonna kind of be its own little side thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, no, this is going to be a follow-up to World at War. Reznov is back. All these new characters are introduced. And then you get into the numbers and what do they mean. And how the entire time you're going through the story, and it's just like a series of flashbacks as you're living Alex Mason's story.
I got to play him again.
And how he got into that interrogation chamber. And that whole sequence, I think, where you finally make it out of the chamber, like you push past Hudson, and you're going through all the flashbacks.
Insane.
And you're like, you see all the numbers and hallucinations and the rocket taking off, and like you might have killed John F. Kennedy. And it's just like, what is going on? And it's just cinematic masterpiece. Fantastic game. And you're right. Now I'm in Black Ops 1 fever. I need to go back and play
I'm thinking about them. Game Pass, drop them, please, so we can just go back and play all of them, because I don't have a disc tray.
Oh, my gosh. Let me use the MP5K from Black Ops 1 again. You know what? That should be one of my list one day. Like, top 10 Call of Duty guns from all time.
I think you've done something similar to it. It might have been the worst. It might have been the overpowered ones.
Most overpowered.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
I can just throw on my personal favorites.
Do it, dude.
And you can see, and you can throw in 2 if they're validated, because a lot of them are old school.
It's up to you. It's whatever you want to do.
You know what's one of them though?
The Brecci.
Oh no, no. I am not a Brecci guy. The Brecci can burn.
It's the devil.
But Modern Warfare 2, the F2000, I vibed with that gun so hard, no matter how bad it was. No matter how bad it got melted by an ACR, even though it technically did more damage.
Perfect.
But we're going to take a quick time out. We're going to come back with a Tom Abraham segment. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called. With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop. If you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So you don't have to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
The Blitz has been called.
It's for Lil John Christmas.
You put some stank on the end of the show. We want. Yeah. I don't know what he was saying there, but good for him. That was not Elton John, by the way.
That was Lil John.
That's amazing. Either way, welcome back, everybody, to the Afternoon Blitz here on a Winter Wednesday, because it is the first day of winter. If you guys want to make sure you don't miss out on any of our shows, make sure you guys have the app. That is the Blitz Sports Radio and 97.7 ESPN The Zone, where you get all of the amazing content that we will deliver to you guys from the WZZN network, which I know, it's WZZN network, but, either way, that's how you do it. If you guys want to hop in the span of a second, if you could do it, that's amazing. 256-576-4977. If you do it, you get an hour free of jumping at Flow. That's what you get.
Which, by the way, can you believe we're a full week out from that?
I know. Time flies, Mandy. We're old people now. That's just what we got to do.
Time flies. But you know what? That is the timer. We have hit the music.
Yeah.
We want to thank you for joining another edition of the Afternoon Blitz. We'll be here in, 22 hours. Another 22 hours with Joe Hunk to wrap up this holiday week of the Afternoon Blitz.
Heck yeah. For me, for the Bandi man, we will see you guys in 22 hours. Have a beautiful rest of your night.